Asian Children's Mission began working in Putaik Gyi in 2008, shortly after Cyclone Nargis ravaged the area. The military government restricted access to the region, but I was one of only a few Americans given permission to travel into the devastated area. An immediate need was for fresh water. Getting water meant traveling by boat for over an hour and paying a hefty fee to get water for the family for only one day. Many had no means to either travel or pay. United Nations experts working in the area advised us to not even to try to drill a well in that village. They believed we would not find water because they had not been successful in nearby villages. But with the growing desperation of the population and a grant from the International Disaster and Emergency Services, we decided to try anyway. After prayer, drilling began. 28 nail-biting days later, fresh water was found at a depth of 720 feet. 5 years later, this well still provides for Putaik Gyi and even other neighboring villages. The water is a daily reminder that Jesus is the living water. But our involvement with this village did not end there. School teachers were killed in the cyclone. The village elders and the Buddhist monks extended an invitation to us to send teachers, knowing that they would be Christians. In the words of the monk, "We need teachers. Being a Christian is no barrier." And so we sent 2 teachers to reopen the primary school. But the cyclone had destroyed the school. Our teachers taught traumatized children in a classroom with no walls. And at the first sign of bad weather, the kids would run away to their parents' arms, hoping for safety. Later, a simple school was built and furnished, and soon the children were learning well. In the evenings and on Sundays, the kids gathered together again at the teacher's house to do homework, learn songs, memorize scripture, and pray. In fact, it was the teachers who taught the children how to sing. Quietly, without fanfare, a children's church was established. As the years went by, the bamboo building for the teachers began to deteriorate and needed to be replaced. The children prayed for a strong new building, one that could protect them in case of a disaster, as well as a place to worship and to learn. This new building would also mean that a middle school could be established, so education did not have to stop after just primary school. These children, led by their teachers, put feet to their prayers. They carried dirt for the foundation of the new building and to raise the entire property area so it would not be a water bog. The children did this before they had any assurances that funding for a new building would be available. They truly acted in faith. The prayers and faith of these children have been answered in a marvelous way. Funding for this multi-purpose building was provided by IDES, the Sherwood Oaks Christian Church, the Montgomery Christian Church, and a private donor. The total cost to build was about $15,000. We know that as important as safe environments are, the children are far more important. Dhiram, an Asian Children's Mission teacher in the village, wrote about his students. He wrote, "Now the children can read the Bible and memorize many verses. In fact, our middle school students are memorizing the entire book of John. Some have the first 11 chapters memorized and are still working to memorize all of it. We, the teachers, teach regular classes, then teach the Bible in the evenings and on Sundays. The students work so very hard. When we left the village for a few weeks during the summer, the children cried. And when the children cried, the parents cried. And so we all cried. One boy from 5th grade said, 'Teachers, we don't want you to go. You must come back soon. We won't have anyone to preach on Sunday.' An elderly man also agreed. He said, 'You bring God with you. But when summer comes, you take away God with you. A girl from the 6th grade tells me that she likes to sing praise songs when she is alone. Singing praise makes me happy, and I feel like God is right beside me. She is an orphan. She lives with her grandmother, whom they call Nat Gada, which means spirit-possessed person. To please her grandmother, she gets up early, does all the housework, so that her grandmother then allows her to go to church. We believe God has sent us to preach the gospel and to teach in school. There is nothing in the village, no shops, no bookstores, no electricity or anything else. But we have come to love this village. We are committing to stay here another 5 years.